Welcome to the Consult Before the Cut, your go-to podcast for all things anti-aging, aesthetics, and plastic surgery. I'm Dr. Jonathan Weiler, a board-certified plastic surgeon with over 15 years of experience.
I am Taylor Besh, physician's assistant and expert injector at Weiler Plastic Surgery.
And I'm Brittany DeSherry, nurse and COO over at Rejuvime Medical. Each week, we'll dive deep into the latest trends, expert insights, and real stories from the world of beauty and wellness. So grab a seat at the consult room and let's discover the secrets of timeless beauty together. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Consult Before the Cut. We are planning to dive into something that I think everyone needs. Everyone needs it, getting into it. It is the 5 medical grade skincare products that we cannot live without.
Yep.
5 must-haves.
The must-haves.
Skincare has evolved very, very rapidly over the past several years. So kind of just debunking some things that are going on right now and what are the must.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important.
I think skincare is obviously a huge component of, anti-aging beauty, right? Regimen. Problem is, though, there's so much stuff out there, right? I mean, even at our office, we try to limit things down to 3 product lines, maybe 4, maybe 5 on occasion, but, really limit it down. But I mean, there's hundreds of legitimate products.
Millions.
I mean, there's millions of products, obviously, right? I mean,
it's all overwhelming too, to the patient and to the consumer of.
You've got 5,000 square foot stores dedicated to skincare, and so it's extremely difficult to know what you need and what works.
Yeah, what you need. How often, when do I put it on? Is it before this one? Which one do I do? I feel like there's a lot of questions.
And are you guided by your medical provider? Or are you guided by TikTok? And that's a lot of the craze right now, TikTok shop. I have one of our providers, she was like, oh yeah, I got this from TikTok shop. And I'm like, excuse me? What is in there? Do you know the ingredients? Do you know if it's medical grade? Because it's not.
No, it came from someone's basement.
Correct.
No, but I think skincare, I think everyone is talking about skincare. I remember when I was younger, skincare wasn't like a thing. It was, but it wasn't like pushed like it is now. And now my 5-year-old, my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old put on SPF.
Yeah, my freshman in high school, I mean, this was a while ago, but during the pandemic, they were putting on masks, skin masks, group chatting, and I think she was like 11,
10 or 11.
And it's insane. And for Christmas, she gets skincare. Now, she's now 13, 14, and it's very difficult to tell a 14-year-old
what to do, how to do it.
And how to do it.
And also to say that, hey, the stuff that you're on, she doesn't have TikTok, but she does have Instagram.
Yeah.
And she does have Snapchat, and the stuff that you see on Instagram is not always the best.
Okay, right? I was about to say, I'm curious, does she use our medical grade skincare, or does she want to use what is trending in her group?
So, I mean, look, she's got 14-year-old skin, so I think you could just normal soap and water is adequate at 14. Some
antibacterial dial soap, slap it on there.
If only my son would actually use soap, we'd be a whole lot better. But she uses a little bit of a combination, because what happens is, obviously my wife is deep into it, not as deep as she should be, but deep into it. And
are you listening, Elizabeth? Compliance is key.
But, and so she has an array of stuff. And then my daughter will come in and pick and choose and grab some stuff on occasion or try. So, that age is sort of a combination in my mind of what's cool, what's TikTok and what's Instagrammable, and then, some effective stuff. But really a good skin cleanser at 14 years old is all you need, right?
A statistic that always sticks in my head that has been said for years is that our injectable practice, they're obviously pursuing their skin, and they think that Botox or dermal filler or whatever fixes it all. But half of the battle, I always say, injectables and skin is a marriage, and you got to do it together, because if not, you're not going to yield the results that you want.
And I think everybody that comes into either a Rejuvime or a Weiler or any aesthetic office is looking to improve their skin. They're looking for guidance. So if you don't give them, your patients, some guidance, they're literally going to walk out the store. They're going to walk down to Walgreens, and they're going to buy some products. And they're going to buy it haphazardly, or no offense to the lady behind the counter, but who started there on Monday, but she's going to offer them advice on what works and what doesn't work. So we're really
that's a proven
it's a proven statistic.
It's real.
Yeah, and so now you've got you have stores like Sephora and other stores that are opening that are focused on makeup and skincare and things like that, which is a large improvement. But the education there is at a higher level, but it's still not at a level where it needs to be. Yeah. And the other thing, I think there's a couple of myths also associated with medical grade skincare. The cost, I think people get nervous about. Now, yes, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than your TikTok shop, right? Than your stuff imported from China, made by Chinese children on slave labor.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit more expensive than that, but it's nothing crazy. And the other thing I tell people, if it always amazes me. You talk to these ladies and they spend a tremendous amount of money on a ton of stuff that they have cycled through.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to say. They have 15 products that may be cheaper, but you're doing 15 steps of things that don't work.
They're not. It's ineffective. So after 3 months, they stop using it.
Yeah, right. And then it's just piling up in your bottom drawer in your bathroom that you've got a whole array of it.
Yep.
Right, and then even men, need to use something.
Yes.
Oh, it's so annoying.
There's nothing I hate more. And I even buy the products. I'm like, here's the products, use them. And it's like,
I'm going to turn the tables to you. What do you do every day?
I do use a skin cleanser every morning and every night. And then I also I have a little SPF I put on.
I was about to say, if you don't say SPF,
I
you can
do
get off the
some
show.
SPF.
You can leave.
And I get in and out of HA5, I guess, a little bit. So depends.
Okay.
I like HA5.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. I do have a little routine. So, and I'm fairly compliant with the SPF, and I'm fairly compliant because I also have my little hair routine.
Right.
So,
Right.
I'm in and out of the but I do like the HA5. So, and we'll talk about.
That's what I'm like. If nothing else, SPF.
Yes.
Right.
That's at least what I try to get to Josh. I'm like, if nothing else, SPF. Just please, because I think that's so important in the skincare routine.
Yeah. Now I do spend most of my waking hours inside, locked in a room doing surgery. So I do have good skin.
Hey, those big lights above are still causing damage to your skin.
Yeah,
they are.
You're not safe. You're not safe.
And the thing is, a lot of consumers are not educated on the type of skin that they have.
Yes.
And
I think that's huge.
Yeah. Tailoring exactly what you need to your skin type will make the world of difference with your skin. And the results that the skincare yields. So that's what I'm excited to talk about. Yes, these 5 key products, but also, we have 3 or 5 different toners. Well, everybody needs a different one type, right?
Yeah, and just the 3 of us sitting here. Our skins are radically different.
Yeah. I will say it so I didn't start my medical grade skincare journey until I was in my late 20s, probably. And then, of course, when I started working at Rejuvime, I went and saw Crystal. I went and saw Crystal in denim and at the Weiler Plastic and Denim and did the full thing. And it's kind of, it's a lot to take in. And especially if you have a finicky skin, kind of like I do, I have eczema. So it was we can try this, but we're going to see. And so some of it is a little bit.
Developing that relationship with a trusted person who knows what they're talking about. Putting your face in a Vizio, which is just a device that assesses everything that's going on with your skin.
My skin's younger than my age.
Is it really?
It is.
Okay, goals.
My skin is younger than my age, and I was very it's about a year, but nonetheless,
hey, that's impressive.
That's here. I was very excited about that. Because I did not start the medical grade until my late 20s. I was very excited that it was.
I went for 8 months. I lived in Hawaii for college.
Oh, the Hawaii stories.
And I would put baby oil on my face and bask in the Hawaiian sun.
You were probably look like a copper tone baby with your skin tone. Huh?
Disgusting.
With that, and then getting a tan in bed. What were we doing?
So we are reversing things with this skincare
Reversing
journey.
the damage done.
The worst.
Well, no. So I think, obviously you've got to talk about skin type a little bit, and we'll get into that with our special guest, Sam. I think you have to talk about, what fits your lifestyle a little bit too, right? Some people love a complex routine.
Yeah.
Some people hate a complex routine.
Some people need very simple.
right?
Yeah.
And I do
You
think
don't need everything.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
And there are some essentials that I think you need. And then also, I think, like you said, direction of, hey, these products. And I think the other part, and you mentioned it, is that when you start on these regimens, you can go backwards a little bit. It can irritate the skin.
What do you mean? Oh, right.
You can have, so you have to have a coach. You have to have someone there with you because people think when you start, like, especially if you start getting into, and I don't know how much we'll talk about this today, like retin-A's and retinols or retinoids and peels. And so you do take a step back sometimes. When I say step back, flaky skin, dry skin, irritated skin, right?
Every time.
Because you have to increase skin cell turnover to get that new skin. And so there is a period that you need a handhold, right? You need someone to guide you a little bit and be your coach and motivate you. So I think it's also important.
Because if you don't have that, you're quitting.
You're quitting.
And then you're going back to square one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Do you remember everybody had the when we were younger, everybody had like the Clinique 3-step?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. The
Hello.
Clinique
Yes.
3-step.
Really?
Oh yes.
Oh my
the
gosh.
yellow lotion
Yes,
was my favorite.
The yellow lotion, in the purple blue bottle,
Yes,
the toner.
the toner.
Yes. Everybody had the I feel like everyone our age.
Clinique was pretty much it when we
our
were younger.
skincare started with the Clinique 3-step.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it was, I mean,
I
everyone
wonder if
had
that's
it.
still around.
I have no
don't know.
idea. But I know that's exactly
Times have changed.
that's where we started. I do feel like a lot of people now are reaching out to more appropriate resources, if you will, to ask what type of skincare is needed. I think it is starting to kind of where people are, well.
No, I think people are much more aware.
Yes.
Aware of skin.
I think
and
they're
skincare.
aware, but I do not think that I don't think that majority of the population is pursuing the right direction.
They're kind of going all over.
Well, because I
Yes.
think you have all this, I call it disinformation.
Noise.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, like, sometimes I'm not a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not, but like, if you at all are on social media, like, it's really hard to know what's true
What's
and
real and what's not.
I mean, with AI and like,
Yeah.
we have at both companies, we have a big Final Four, right? Competition.
It's back on today.
It is, and you watch like the post op interview. I mean, the post game interviews, and like people will AI other stuff into it, like. So like they have the coach talking, but they can mimic the movement of the mouth
crazy.
to a whole nother, like something they never said. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, anyway, we're getting off track.
That's very disturbing.
But it's deceptive.
It is.
So,
Wild.
so there's a lot of stuff out there on Instagram and TikTok.
That can be persuasive. Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
So one of the girls that works with us, I could shake her. She gets it's like the box that gets delivered to your house like once a month that
the
has
skin box or something?
makeup.
Yeah.
It has makeup and has all this kind of stuff and has skincare products in it. And she's like, look at this. I'm like, what is that? What is that?
She
Where did
doesn't
you get
know.
it
Yeah.
from? I was like, she's like, I'm gonna use it. I'm like, for what? I was like,
For your pet? I mean,
That's
you're gonna
it. It's like, what is it?
There's no, and another thing is like when you get into these higher grade skincare lines, there's good oversight in terms of the government and the company and knowing what's in there.
The true ingredients.
True
that are in
ingredients
there.
and where it's been tested. And you get this stuff from TikTok and literally you could be putting formaldehyde on your skin and
don't know.
You don't know because it's being there is and I think in America we're so used to being protected, like, and not being doubtful.
Regulated.
And so, but like, no, like you literally, there could be somebody and I'm not picking on China, but there could be somebody in northern China sticking formaldehyde into a bottle and literally putting it in a box, and you're the first person that opens it.
Gosh.
And then now you're putting that on your skin,
On your skin.
and nobody knows.
your
And
skin glows
your
because
skin
it's
glows.
melting off. Like, it's just
It's being
melting
preserved
off.
slowly but surely.
It's just beautiful
Formaldehyde.
mummification process that's
gosh.
happening.
You're mummifying your body, and that literally can happen. So it is. So look, I think having and Sam is a rep for a very strong brand, but having we love all of our brands that we carry, but having a great brand associated with your skincare, you can go back and forth between brands. You can
Or
mix
combine.
and match.
Yeah,
You can
it doesn't
mix and
have to be.
match.
Yeah.
But having something that's reliable, something that is legit, and then that works. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
I am so excited. So Sam, I think, is such an influential rep for us because she's practiced it.
Yeah.
She believes in it. She does it. So I want to talk about her
I hear about
background
Sam
before she
all the
gets
time.
started.
So Sam, I hear about you all
Yes.
the time.
Yes.
All good stuff. But no, and then
So-
she has her own good social media following from what I've heard. Active online, right?
Yep.
So doing all the right stuff.
She's just a wealth of knowledge that we're going to share with you guys today.
Yes. All righty.
All right.
So let's go ahead. We're going to take a quick break and
Yep.
we are going to have Sam join us and we're going to dig into the 5 things that we need.
My name is Heather Robertson. I'm from Ponchatoula, Louisiana. I just recently turned 52, and I just didn't want to look like I turned 52. I have daughter-in-laws, I have daughters. We all go to the beach, and I just felt so uncomfortable, like in my bathing suit, because I had so much loose skin. Dr. Hogan and I talked about it. We did an arm lift on both of my arms. I'm so happy with the results. Don't hesitate. Step in and go for it, and just be a new you.
My name is Josh Hughes. I'm 43. I'm currently on the HRT program. I just started feeling the effects of getting older, being tired all the time, not motivated, sore when I would do physical activity, and just needed a change. I've been on the HRT program for around 3 years. Within the first month, I completely noticed a huge difference in my mood and energy. The weight that I had gained started to drop off rapidly. It just gave me a new lease on life. It made me feel like I was in my 20s again.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Consult Before the Cut. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, as always, Weiler Plastic Surgery Group, the largest aesthetic plastic surgery group in the state of Louisiana. We've got 5 doctors, over 10 injectors, over 10 offices. Come visit us. Also, Rejuvime Medical, Louisiana's leading anti-aging clinic. We specialize GLP-1s, hormone optimization, TRT, and aesthetic injectables. So I'm going to hand it over to Brittany.
All right, everyone. We are going to introduce our very special guest that we have with us today, Miss Sam Bazile.
I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for coming to sit with us today. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. How you are you? What got you into this?
Where are you from, first of all?
All the things.
The whole thing. Bring us through
Okay.
your life quickly.
All right, so my name's Sam Bazile. I'm an account executive for Zio Skin Health. I've been with Zio now for about 7 years. Prior to, I was a medical esthetician. So I was out in the field doing the thing.
How long did you practice? Have you always loved skincare? I mean, skin.
Always.
Always.
It started from, and I heard y'all talking about Clinique, but
Yes.
my nanny when I was younger, she was a Mary Kay. She drove the pink Cadillac.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Yes.
used to love going to her
Yeah.
house and playing with all of the things in her kit, and that's just what got me interested.
Right.
Forgot about the Mary Kay party.
Yes.
That's a whole nother thing.
The pink cars.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
Cadillacs. Nice.
Yes.
So you grew up in New Orleans, right? We were
I
both
did.
New Orleanians.
I did. I
right?
went to Dominican, yes.
Dominican High School. I'm a Jesuit boy.
Yeah.
And then when did you start?
can't take it out of them.
No matter what.
No, we're
You
proud.
just-
That's right.
When did you know I want to kind of like go into to skin? You know, when and how did you choose that route? Obviously, that Mary Kay lady influenced you, right?
Yes.
But how did you take that step to get into it?
That just started my passion for it. But I have problematic skin, cystic acne, texture problems. So I was, going to derms trying to fix my skin, and I just felt like I was in this rat race circle. And I knew right away, like, this is what I want to do. I want to learn how to help myself and help other people.
And I feel like, you mentioned derms, not bashing on derms, but estheticians are really frontline skincare, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the person. It's almost like if you're in the aesthetic world, the estheticians are your frontline. Similar, like if you have a heart attack, your nurses are
Right.
your frontline, right? That's the one you're going to spend the most time with. That's who's really going to interpret what the doctor says.
Yeah.
That's going to really, hold your hand and be your partner, right?
Yep. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be an Esty.
And then how did you go? How did you go from SD to sales?
Okay,
Or
well that
rep.
wasn't in the cards, but I ended up falling in love with the skincare portion of my job. I enjoyed very much educating patients because I feel like an educated patient is a compliant patient, and so that is what was very attractive to me. And this skincare company that I currently work for, Zio, they approached me about a position being an educator for their company. So for the first 4 years of my career at Zio, I was an educator. I educated nationwide for the brand. And then I was offered a promotion in sales and just been really enjoying it. And it's different because I started out my career in aesthetics educating patients.
Right.
And I was really good at that. And now I get to educate providers on how to help their patients, how to teach their patients. So it's kind of come in full circle. It's pretty cool.
I love that. That's
And
fun.
she's got a good,
Yeah.
close relationship with them because they respect her because she's very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't take that for granted. It's
Yeah.
an honor to
Yeah.
partner
Well,
with you guys.
You definitely
Truly.
earn it every day. How do you feel like, before we get into this, how do you feel like the skincare, just as in general, has changed over since you started, the aesthetic world with, you're probably started in this like on the cusp of social media, right?
Yeah.
And now all these sources of information. What's your thought on all that?
Well, I'll tell you what, COVID time was like kind of a catch-22 because I feel like that was the time where most people were sitting at home. They couldn't come into the practices to get their Botox, to get their hydrofacials, to get their Diamond Glows. So they were just literally sitting at home looking at themselves on camera. And the only thing that we
Critiquing
could
themselves,
do,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And the only
a
thing we
rough
could
time.
do was pick up the skincare. So it really started this like amazing skincare trend. But then you also had the formaldehyde, the
Yeah.
things like you were talking about.
It
Like
did. I mean, literally,
you
people
got like the TikTok
shipping
stuff.
formaldehyde from China.
So it's like there was a good part about it that it gained traction. People started to really understand
Yep.
the importance of skincare and how impactful it can be on your
Yeah.
skin health journey.
Yeah, I mean, I firmly believe that, my daughter's and my son's generation, they were 10-ish during 10, 11, 12 during the, the pandemic, and that really cemented like beauty skincare in her mind, which is crazy. You
Yeah.
know, like that generation is boop, and it's going to start. So
They're never going to age. They're going to be mummified because
They
of
are
all the
gonna be
creams they're
hopefully
slapping
not
on.
with formaldehyde from China, right?
Right. Look, I do
Mummified
have
is great
I have
product.
regrets. I wish I would have started a little bit earlier on some things, but
Look, you're not living life if you don't have regrets, right?
Correct.
That's right.
I
Correct.
mean, I don't
So
even
let's
want-
dive into the 5 non-negotiables.
yes, there are non-negotiables and people look past the non-negotiables because they want to go straight for the correctives. But at the end of the day, when it comes to medical grade skincare, you want to focus on getting your patient's skin healthy. It's not just throwing an anti-aging cream on the fire. That's not what's going to do this. You have to really build a plan for your patient that's designed to get their skin healthy, and that's what these fundamental 5 products are designed to do. So I'm really excited to talk about these with you guys.
Now, can I ask you something? So when we use the word medical grade skincare, what do you think of with that term? Is that a fair question?
It is. So listen, there's a lot of information about medical grade versus over the counter, but at the end of the day, there's a couple things that you need to take into account. Number one, medical grade skincare lines usually contain higher doses of the active ingredients, and that's what makes it so effective. That's what makes it actually, yield results other than just moisturizing the problem, right? We really want to fix the skin. So that's one thing. Another thing that comes with medical grade skincare is you are purchasing from a physician's practice, and you have experts that are analyzing your skin, because at the end of the day, we all should not be on the same products, right?
Yeah.
We all have different skin types, skin concerns. My journey to skin health is not yours or yours or yours, because according to what I know, none of us have the same mama, okay?
Yeah. Right.
Genetics plays a huge part in what's
Well, we're all
going on
from New
here.
Orleans, so
Could be, I don't know,
Let's not rule it out. We're just-
could be. My mama was wild, so she's
knowledge.
gonna kill me. I should say, and I love my mama. But anyway, so you can't take a cookie cutter approach. It's very, very customized. So when you come into a practice like the Weiler plastic surgery practices, you have amazing estheticians, some of the best in the biz, that can analyze the patient's skin and guide them. That is so important. Your skin health is going to change. Your needs are going to change. The seasons change. You have to have a professional that's going to be working with you and pivoting as your skin health as you need those changes. So
Yeah.
there's a lot that kind of comes into it. It's not just a purchase. And you should never go alone at skincare. Like, you shouldn't be going online and pressing purchase. You really need to be consulted. You need a professional to look
Right.
at your skin type and really customize that approach.
Yeah. I love the amount of times like skin health was used in that, because I think that it's like people, they just want like, oh, I just want like beautiful skin. It's like, okay, well, you have to get it healthy. Like
That's
the
a very
reason that
important
it's pretty is because it's
healthy. It's happy.
It's healthy and it's happy.
Yeah.
Listen, how many times have people walked up to you when you're out and about? And I know y'all, because y'all have beautiful skin, but they don't come up to you and say, your injectables are beautiful. What are they saying? They're saying your skin is gorgeous. Your skin is so healthy. And Taylor was talking about this earlier. She was talking about the need for combining both injectables and skincare. And I always use this analogy with patients because they'll come in with a budget in mind, right? And they'll say, I want this whole $500 injected into my face. But I tell them, we could do that. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be happy because I could take a crocodile and inject thousands of dollars worth of Botox and filler. But at the end of the day, you're just going to have a fat, happy crocodile with crocodile skin. Like we got to address that gator skin, girl. We've got to get the pigment out of the way. We need to get it smooth. We need to get it glowing. And then your injectables are just going to be
chef's kiss.
That's it.
I love that.
Yeah. That's it.
I was about to say Taylor would just murder somebody if someone commented on their injectables.
Yeah, right. Nobody needs to know that.
Not a good comment.
That's right.
If they're commenting on your injectables, that's
like,
bad.
oh my
Unless
God.
it's another injector complimenting an injector.
Oh no.
And I would add medical grade skincare too. It is studied. You know
Yes.
that the
Yes.
ingredients in the
Backed by
skincare
science.
is
Well, you know,
backed by
in
science.
this day and age, you know it's safe, right?
it.
Which
It's
is important.
safe.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Safe,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And then you know it's effective. Now, effectiveness varies on skin type, texture, tone, and how you use it, and compliance, right? But the very minimum, you know that this stuff is going to be safe, which you don't know in the TikTok shop. So be careful.
That's right.
So I would say you're going to tell us about the Get Skin Ready GSR. That's pretty much what we're going to focus on with these top 5.
Yeah, some good fundamental products that I think every single patient, no matter the skin type or concern, whether you have pigment concerns, acne, rosacea, aging concerns, every single patient should have these fundamental 5 products in their arsenal to get your skin healthy. You can always add the corrective products like your retinoids.
Right.
You can always add those in later. It's really important to get the fundamentals in, build your skin health, and then talk about correctives.
So these non-negotiables, this is going to get your skin from where it is to healthy, right?
That's right.
And then the stuff that we'll talk about hopefully in a later episode will be about the corrective stuff.
The
Right?
correctives.
Correct. Good.
But this is
explain it
just
to our
base.
audience.
I'm coming in.
Yeah, coming
my
in.
face. I
Yeah.
need
this is
some
what
help.
this is what you've got to do.
Yeah.
Good.
That's it.
All
All
right.
right.
I like
Tell me
it.
what I need to do.
Okay, so
do it.
Britt wants to know.
Oh, I always. You know me. I'm curious like a cat.
I got you, girl. Okay. So there are fundamental products. There's 5 of them. And the number 1 of the 5 is a cleanser. And I know sometimes people can think that a cleanser is really not that important, or I can go grab a cleanser from Walgreens. Why do I need this medical grade cleanser? And the truth is, the medical grade cleansers are an important part of your treatment. For example, the Zeo Skin Health cleansers that they carry at the Weiler Plastic Surgery practice, they're customized to the patient's skin type. So whether they have dry, oily, acnetic skin, they can get a cleanser that's customized for a really good cleanse. But more than that, those cleansers are packed with anti-inflammatories, they're packed with antioxidants, so they really are a vital part of your journey to skin health, so you don't want to skip out on that. And if you're not cleansing appropriately, you have a lot of buildup, you have a lot of congestion, you have bacteria on the skin. When the skin recognizes bacteria, it does what it's designed to do, and it reacts with inflammation. And inflammation is the root of everything we hate in our skin. Pigment is rooted in inflammation, acne is rooted in inflammation, rosacea is rooted in inflammation. So we really want to make sure that we're following a good cleansing routine every morning and every night with a cleanser that is appropriate to your skin type.
Boom.
That's what I know. I'm like, and every morning and every night, every morning and every night, everyone. I remember in college, I would just go to sleep.
No.
Like, you know, and I'm like, no, it's every night.
Oh, yeah.
Get into it.
Never go to sleep
And
with your
that's it.
makeup.
Makeup.
Never. You will age your skin by 7 years. By
Oh my goodness, really?
7 years.
So can you say, I don't know, I'm a man. Is there like a appropriate way to remove your makeup and an inappropriate way? Is there from advice
I
from
mean,
you?
okay, so I'm going to say this, and I'm sure people watching are going to be like, meh. But I don't believe in the makeup wipes. And I know a lot of younger girls,
Yes.
because nowadays makeup's kind of like
Okay,
shellac.
younger girls.
Yeah, so
That's
share
the
this with
thing
your
with-
babies. Yes.
yes.
The makeup that's out these days, it is literal shellac. So they feel like they have to use a makeup wipe to get it off, then cleanse. But as an esthetician, I believe in double cleansing, and I think that's the most appropriate way to do it. Your first cleanse is just going to remove that outer mess. Then you really get in with that second cleanse to remove the oil and all the dead skin cells. So a good double cleanse, that's all you need.
All right. I like that.
And your fingers. You don't need those fancy devices. Your fingers actually will engage the lymphatic system, open those pores, and you get a good cleanse.
Who needs one of the
Listen, if you like it, have it, go for it. But, you know, I just know the power in these little tools here.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
I love that.
All right, so cleanser, number one, right?
Yep,
Twice
check.
a day, morning and night, clean off that makeup. Don't fall asleep with it.
That's it.
7 years.
7 years.
Number
then,
2.
Yes, number 2 is a physical exfoliant. So this is sometimes overlooked, and I'll tell you why this is important. Most of what you're doing in your skincare routine is encouraging a faster cellular turnover, because as we age, our cell turnover rate slows down, so that's when you start to get all the things you don't like about your skin. So speeding up cellular turnover is part of our treatment. But if you think about it, if you start speeding up cellular turnover, but you're not doing anything to remove all of that cell buildup, you start to get congestion, you start to get acne. So having a good physical exfoliant is helpful. Also, all of your juicy hydrated cells are down at the bottom, okay? So you want to exfoliate all of that dead layer away to get the good, juicy, healthy cells forward. That's what gives you that really pretty, hydrated, dewy glow that everyone wants. So a physical exfoliant is important. However, the right physical exfoliant. Sorry, but St. Ives apricot scrub is not going to do it.
Right.
Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. So something like a St. Ives apricot scrub that you get, yes, it is an exfoliant. It
You
can
do that for your feet.
Yeah,
like,
all day long.
Is that the stuff like the sugar stuff?
Yeah.
in it
This
and
is
all
just
that?
bringing
Well-
back all the memories.
So you used it. I used
I know. I'm calling some people out, but
This is our Clinique skincare and our St. Ives
I did
exfoliant.
it too. I did it too.
Sam, we're getting there.
That's it. So that is crushed walnut shells. So you have these little shards, and every time you exfoliate, you're causing all these micro tears that can over time
It
cause
hurts.
issues. Yes.
My wife's trying to exfoliate my feet. Ooh, it hurts.
It's a lot. So you want to choose a physical exfoliant that is designed for more frequent use, that is backed by science. And the one that I think is my favorite, and we always call this product the Zeo Gateway drug, because once you try this, you're like hooked.
100%.
But this is our Zeo exfoliating polish.
Oh, it's the best.
It's ultra fine magnesium crystals, so super, super fine crystals, so it's acceptable for daily use. It also has an ingredient in it called tetrahexyl decylascorbate, or THD for my Esties that are watching. That is a form of ascorbic acid that brightens the skin. So who doesn't want smooth, dewy, glowy, shiny, bright skin? Everyone. So if you are exfoliating with that will achieve everything that you need. It's going to remove the buildup and have your skin looking good, dewy, and fresh. And you should probably do that about 2 to 3 times a week. And
So not every day.
And is that a morning or a night thing?
so, okay, I'm so glad you asked that, because most patients are going to say they want to do it at night, right?
Correct.
They always say, I don't have time in the morning. Well, if you don't have 5 seconds in the morning, then just do it at night. But you're going to get more bang for your buck in the morning. And the reason for that is your skin does the most while you sleep. So you have the most cellular turnover while you're sleeping at night. So you're going to have all of that cellular buildup. And then they say, but Sam, I come home from work and I've got all this dirt, makeup, sweat, debris from the day. Wouldn't that be the best time to exfoliate? No, because a good cleanser can remove the makeup, the sweat, the dirt, the debris. What's stubborn is the oil buildup and the cellular buildup, and you have the most abundance of that in the morning. Plus, since those exfoliants make you glow, do you
Right.
I
want
wanna
to glow and
glow
go to
and
bed?
day.
No, I want to glow and go.
Nobody's
So,
looking at this.
I did it at night until you became our rep and switched my routine. I did it all the time at night. Now I do it in the morning, and I agree.
Was
I
it a
like
game
better.
changer?
Yeah, love it in the morning.
I thought
No.
it's a gateway drug.
Quick question. Can you combine a cleanser with an exfoliant?
Yes.
Okay, so
you
like
can.
those products that have they're a little bit more aggressive cleansers, are those appropriate in your mind, you feel like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to tell some patients too, because those physical exfoliants can feel really abrasive. And maybe if your skin is more compromised, you might not be able to tolerate it, but you still need the removal.
Right.
So I'll recommend that they take just a small amount of that exfoliant, put it in with their cleanse. And that way it's kind of got a buffer, so it's not so hard, such a hard hit on the skin.
Okay. All right. Exfoliant. Check.
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 Okay, but I do want to talk about,
Oh,
before we move on from exfoliant, that is a physical exfoliant.
Yes.
Yes.
There are chemical exfoliants that you can also use as well, right?
There are alpha
when
hydroxy acids.
when would that come into the picture to replace a physical exfoliant?
That's when you really need a provider.
Okay.
Because they are going to help look at your skin and determine what's best. Because the worst thing you could do for your skin is to over exfoliate and over strip the skin. So you want to make sure you're being very thoughtful and very intentional with the method that you chose. The physical exfoliants are going to do the scrubbing, right? But then you have chemical that are going to help promote exfoliation, things like glycolic acid or even enzymatic exfoliation like papain, things like that just kind of munch away at the dead skin. So that's why it's important to let a provider like your esthetician look at your skin, tell you what you need, and then guide you and pivot if appropriate.
Can you change your exfoliant during the week? Is that something? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exfoliating cleanser one day, physical
Do it all.
exfoliant the next.
Yeah.
Just kind of switch it up.
For people that love lots of products, right?
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So next,
All right.
All right, so the number 3 is a toner, okay? It is very important for the health of your skin that your pH is balanced. So most toners on the market are designed to do that. But I think there's something a little bit more that you need from your toner. And what I think is important is defatting the skin. And what do I mean by that? Every single person, it doesn't matter if your skin's dry or super oily, we all have surface oils on our skin, right? And it's kind of like fat, right? It's a weird consistency. I try to explain this to patients when I tell them about their skin. If I were to harvest the oil from your skin, like put it in a jar, it would actually look like honey. And why does it not look and feel like honey on our skin? Because of the temperature of our skin. It kind of heats it up, so that's what gives us that greasy look, right? But if I were to take it and put it in a jar, it's very thick and waxy. So if you think about that, even if I only have a little bit on the surface of my skin, how much of the products I use are going to penetrate?
penetrating.
Yeah. Zero.
None.
Zero.
So not only balancing the skin, but also defatting the skin is important for your routine. And toners are also, just like your cleanser, extremely important to be customized. So they have some toners where they are toning pads that have some of those alpha hydroxy acids in them, some of the beta hydroxy acids that give you that physical exfoliation to help, the chemical exfoliation to help remove those surface oils. But then they also have calming toners that will actually add hydrators, add anti-inflammatories to more compromised, dry, irritated skin.
Yeah.
So it's important.
Thickening the oil almost in a sense, or restoring the oil a little bit?
More of removing it. We want to get rid of it. And that's a little bit of a different thought because some people associate oil with hydration.
Correct.
Not the same thing. Right. Your skin's hydration comes down from deep. It's in the dermis. It's part of your glycosaminoglycans, things like hyaluronic acid. That's what's responsible for hydrating the skin. But oil, really and truly the only point of oil, it lubricates the hair shaft so that way your hair can exfoliate. And some of us, especially through different times in our life, like maybe puberty, and then again when we're dealing with hormones in our older years, you start to produce more oil. Now, if you have a little bit of oil, that's not bad. It can be antimicrobial, it's okay. But when you start to kind of cross that threshold and you have access, that's where we see problems.
Right.
Reason being, oil is actually a highly inflammatory substance. So if you have a lot of oil, you have a lot of inflammation. You have a lot of inflammation, you got a lot of acne, rosacea, seborrheic dermatitis.
Thus acne during puberty, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to do something to help either remove the oil or control it. That's why some dermatologists or physicians may prescribe things like Accutane or spironolactone, aldactone for patients that have excess oil problems because it's rooted internal. So yes, you want to remove that surface oil so that way whatever we're using to treat the health of the skin, it actually penetrates and you get even penetration.
So I'm naive to toners. That's not in my routine. So
Shame.
We're gonna have to change that.
explain to me. So it's a pad, and you apply it after your exfoliant. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So what you would typically do in the morning, you would cleanse your skin, you would use your physical exfoliant, and then you would use your toning pad. So we have the pads here at Zio, which is one of our top selling toning pads. It's called Complexion Renewal Pads. Those are alpha and beta hydroxy acid pads, and they are going to help to defat the skin and balance the pH. And you should be toning with the toner that's appropriate for your skin every morning and every night. So if your skin
twice a
is
day.
not, yes.
Okay. Oh.
So
You got
if
a lot
your
of oil
skin
buildup
is
during
not,
the day and at night.
yes.
Yep.
If your skin is not normal or oily, you would not want to use those exfoliating pads. You would
Right.
want to use a more of a calming toner, something like the calming toner from Zio.
Right.
It does have a little glycolic acid, but it doesn't have the salicylic acid, and
Right.
it is packed with hydrators and anti-inflammatories. So it's going to settle the skin and calm it and hydrate it.
So that's me. I'm the calming.
Yeah.
I'm the calming gal.
Yeah. No,
Complexion renewal.
I'm
All day.
super
All
oily.
day.
I'm like a grease ball.
Are you?
Are you?
Oh, yes. If I don't
So
wash
he
my
would
hair,
use oil control pads?
Most men are. Most
Really?
men, that's
Yeah.
their
Okay.
go-to is the oil control pad.
Okay.
You got to try them.
We
You'd
got
be
you.
hooked.
I
You'd be
know.
hooked.
I'm going to put
need
some
to.
in his briefcase.
I was about to say, I know where
Take
you
home.
can get some. I'm just saying. I know where you can get some. Okay, so now I'm toned. The gates are open. The
Yes.
skin is open for business
Product,
now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
like let's do it.
Let's do
so
it.
what's
Rock and roll.
next?
So what we've talked about is what we consider here at Zio getting skin ready. It's how we really and truly prepare the foundation of the skin. So what is next that every single patient needs is an antioxidant serum. And there are so many options on the market that have things like vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin C that give you that antioxidant protection from oxidative stress, free radical damage, things that accelerate your aging, right? But I would challenge you to take it a step further. And this is where I almost feel like medical is different from over the counter, because you can go to any store like Ulta, Sephora, Walgreens, and you can purchase an antioxidant product. And yeah, you might get a really good vitamin C or a vitamin E. But what you're missing is something like DNA repair, something that helps to repair the damage that's done to the skin. And like, for example, our antioxidant serums here at Zio, we have two really great options. Daily Power Defense, which she's the OG. She's been around forever. Everybody loves DPD. And then we have Illuminating AOX, which is Daily Power Defense with a sprinkle. So Illuminating AOX has mica in it.
shimmer.
Yeah.
With a
So
shimmer.
pretty.
Yes. It gives you an instant glow.
Yeah.
So you have some options, but what makes those different is, yes, they have vitamins A, C, and E, but they also have DNA repair enzymes. These enzymes kind of go in and help speed up the skin's repair process because, as you guys know, as we age, everything slows down, even our skin's ability to heal itself. So you want something to help push your skin to get a little bit healthier. So everyone needs an antioxidant.
Okay, so I'm like, this is the coach that's saying, like, get it going,
Get it
going,
together.
get it going. I love that.
Yes.
I love it. So when am I applying this one now?
So I would do your antioxidants in the morning. Get yourself ready for the day, because every time you go outside, you're exposed to things like the sun, pollution, smoke. Those things cause that environmental stress.
Negative
Yes.
environmental.
So I don't
right.
need this at night. I just need it during the day.
I call it Pac-Man. It's just going
Okay.
in and eating all that pollution and crud in your skin. That is just you're exposed to all day. So I put mine on in the morning.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Listen, you could do it again at night too.
You can
can't-
do it whenever you want.
can't OD on
can't.
antioxidants, but let's do it in the morning for sure.
Okay.
And then at night, if you want to be extra, hey.
okay, so now we're bringing it home with by far, like, obviously my most favorite.
Yes.
This is my most favorite.
The
What?
the number 5.
Number 5?
Yeah.
Number five.
What everybody needs.
I
Right.
preach this so hard. Like I said, my 5 and my 7-year-old do not go to school without.
Oh my gosh.
They do not go to every morning when they wake up. They have SPF on their face,
mama.
and they have SPF on their arms when they go to school.
Whoa, I'm impressed.
I'm
I need to
like-
step it up.
Beautiful children.
My kiddos, I'm like, because we're not in the good part of the genetics on this one. So, because we have a history of skin cancer
Wow.
in our family, my kids slap it on every day.
That's
It's
amazing.
impressive.
But I just love that they're like, oh, I need to put it in. That's their
Yeah.
like face routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So
Wow.
it's nice. But this is by far, I'm like, get it, go. You get
Everybody
on your, you
needs
get on your soapbox.
SPF number 5.
This is what most providers will say if you do nothing else,
Right.
at least get this. You know, a lot of times patients will come in and see a provider and say, if I can only get one thing of everything you told me, a lot of providers would say then it's going to be your sunscreen, because
Right.
without this, everything else is pointless. So most of us understand the damage that the sun does to our skin. It ages us, it causes pigmented lesions, it causes an array of trouble for our skin. But again, this is where medical differentiates from over-the-counter, because when you go to an over-the-counter place, you can get things like a broad spectrum SPF, and that's going to protect you from UVA and UVB rays, which is important. That is important. But having a good medical grade sun protection product, that is going to go a step farther. So not only do we need to protect from UVA and UVB, but we also need to protect from HEV, which is high energy visible light, which is what we stare at every day. It's our phone, our computer screen. It's in the fluorescent
It's your
lighting.
surgery.
So
Sweet
even
over
though
there.
you're not outside,
Yeah.
you are under that lighting. So high energy visible light is important, but also infrared, which is heat. So a lot of people forget about this. Heat can also trigger pigment. So if you are a person that experiences melasma or other pigment issues, you want to make sure your sun protection has that heat, that added heat value, because if not, you're probably not going to see much improvement in your pigment. And I think my favorite, probably out of all of the sunscreens, it's our #1 selling sunscreen here at ZO, is our Sunscreen Plus Primer. So this is a fun SPF. It has what we call triple spectrum protection. So it's got UVA, UVB, HEV, and IRA. That was a lot.
Got it all.
So it's got everything. But it also has a makeup primer in it, which is great for those that wear makeup because it's one less step. But even if you don't wear makeup, I love it because it has that primer in it. It's just going to blur away all of the pores, and it gives you this really pretty finish. So you get with these medical grade products, not only are you getting something that's working, but you get a luxury experience as well. And the products usually last you a really long time.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about your investment, it's important to say, am I spending money on something that, #1, I know is going to work? #2, is it specifically for me? Because if not, it could do damage to my skin. And then #3, how long is this going to last me? Is this on 30-day auto ship?
Right.
Yeah. So those are the things to ask, and making sure you have a provider to prescribe it, but also guide you on your journey.
Now, you mentioned the sunscreen with primer. As a man, so is that a tint or is that and can a man effectively wear that? Does that make sense?
Okay, my husband is going to kill me, but Larry wears it every day.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay.
So it does have a
Oh, no,
little bit.
This is absolutely a podcast where we expose the spouses. We
Sorry, babe.
expose the spouses.
Sorry, babe. And honestly, his skin is better than mine. Like, we go places and people are like, "Wow, you have good skin," and he's like, "Oh no, it's her. She slaps all the
He's the
creams on
walking
it."
billboard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do what we got to do. But anyway, it does have a little bit of a tint to it, but it's a physical sunscreen, so it's not going to give you like makeup coverage or anything like that. And once it's rubbed into the skin, it just kind of
It
disappears.
just kind of blends in. It looks appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So looking at him, he should be cleansing his skin.
Yes.
Doing exfoliating polish twice a week, 3 times a week.
Yes.
Then
Get that man some toner.
I need some
oil
time.
control pads.
Get him on some oil control pads.
I'm oily greasy.
Then he should. I mean, I feel like all
Daily
men should be
power.
on daily power.
Yes, 100%.
And then sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
All right, you got
Love
to
it.
write
I
that
have
down.
a few holes
Write that down.
in my routine that I'm going to fill.
That's it. I mean, it's so informative. And also, like, that is, like, digestible also, I feel like. It's
Yeah.
not, like, like, these little 5 steps, that's digestible. We can do this. We can do a
And
5
honestly,
step.
all of these products are very affordable. If
Yeah.
we're going back to the investment, and you said investment earlier, protect your investment. You're going to do a chemical peel. You're going to do microneedling. You're going to do
Right.
Botox, dermal filler.
right.
Protect your investment. It's
And-
part of
and-
it.
And any good, so obviously ZO, right, is your brand. I mean, Skin Medica's out there. There's a couple other good skincare lines. They're going to have these basic products, right?
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
most of these lines will have these products separated, correct?
Yes.
That you can go in. And so if you're watching this or you're listening to this at home, you can go in and say, hey, I listened to Sam, the
Sam.
ZO, right? And she said, I need my 5 products. And like, let's find these, right?
That's
so
right.
it's applicable really anywhere
Yep.
in the world. I
That's
think.
right.
I love that. You are
You're
very knowledgeable.
amazing.
I
Thank you.
absolutely love that. I'm like, that you so
We're going to
much
totally
knowledge.
drag you back here.
Anytime.
So just
Anytime.
This is
ready.
you're a rock star.
Get ready for the corrective. Just go ahead
No,
and
listen,
get it together.
look, you have me back because I can dive into some retinoids.
It's
We
like-
can have fun with that topic.
Now, can so I mentioned earlier in our little podcast that sometimes you can take a step back or you can see some some irritation and issues.
Right.
Which one of these products may you see that, or will that ever occur with any of these?
No.
Never.
Not with these.
Not
These
with
products are
These are going to
baseline.
move you forward, right?
That's right.
Okay.
If you're feeling or experiencing any type of irritation with these fundamental products, chances are your provider needs to just tweak your toner maybe, or reduce your physical exfoliant, you know, from 3 days a week to 2 days a week. Just customize it and tweak it. None of this should be causing reaction.
Good.
But don't be afraid. No reaction, no repair.
Right.
That means
No
something's
reaction,
happening.
no repair.
Yeah, no, I
Something's
agree.
happening.
There you go.
So, yes, but with these products, no, you shouldn't have anything crazy.
I also think it's super important, like you were saying with the estheticians, to, you know, how you were saying, only do this one 2 to 3 times a week. Don't like go
yes.
all in. This is not a pool to just like dive into. Like make sure that, you know, you have those rules of doing like, okay, your exfoliant, we're going to
No,
do
yeah, you can overdo it,
You
right?
can
Yeah.
absolutely overdo it.
Yeah.
Dosage and usage is important, and you don't get that when you're going just to like a Sephora or somewhere. You need, just like your doctor prescribes your medication and tells you how to take it, what your dosage is, how frequently to take it, same thing with your medical grade skincare.
Right.
Your provider is going to tell you the dosage, how many pumps, how often you should be using it, and they're going to guide you with that and tweak as your skin responds to that treatment.
Yes. I love that.
Love it.
Oh, you got it?
Sorry, it's a lot.
Load it up. My brain is full.
There you go. And I'm like, and if no one heard anything else, get
Tell 'em,
an
girl.
SPF.
Yeah.
Get an SPF yesterday. Get an SPF. Well, thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge regarding
y'all
this.
for
This is
having me.
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. And yes, it's not hard. Just that little 5-step. We're good to go. But like we said, medical grade, it's tested, backed by science, all the good things. So make sure that you're consulting with your estheticians to
Yep.
get that information. Thank you. All right, guys. Here
Thank you,
it is.
Sam.
Yep.
You're the
Like,
best.
thank you. Make sure to follow us on all the platforms.
Yep.
We're on the YouTube,
Subscribe
Spotify,
below,
Apple.
right?
Subscribe below. All the things. Remember to always stay curious, always stay informed, and always remember to consult before you cut. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys.